University of Missouri St. Louis College of Education podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is David Stouffer and I get to be the recruitment coordinator for the UMSL College of Education. Each week on this podcast, we will meet an innovator in the field of education. We will spend some time getting to know them and learning about their work and how it can help you in yours. It is my sincere hope that this podcast will be a source of encouragement and support as you work to continue impacting lives as an educator. My guest today is Dr. Kristin Sobolik. Dr. Sobolik currently serves as the 8th Chancellor of the University of Missouri St. Louis. Dr. Sobolik was recruited to UMSL in 2017 to serve as its Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and after a nationwide search was appointed Chancellor in 2020. Dr. Sobolik is originally from Charles City, Iowa, and was the first member of her family to graduate from college, earning a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Iowa. She later attended Texas A&M, earning both a master's and PhD. Dr. Sobolik's higher education career began in 1992 at the University of Maine, where she spent 20 years as professor in the Department of Anthropology and Associate Dean for Research and External Affairs in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. After serving as Dean of the College of Liberal Arts at Wright State University, she transitioned to the University of Missouri St. Louis in her current role as Chancellor. Dr. Sobolik, welcome to the UMSL College of Education podcast.
Hello, David. Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited to be here this morning.
You've had a varied and diverse career. Did you ever think when you were participating in an archaeological excavation in the southwestern United States as a Hawkeye from Iowa that you would one day become our Chancellor at the University of Missouri St. Louis?
You know, I'm pretty sure when I was digging in the hot, burning sun of the southwestern U.S., I had no idea what a chancellor was, and I definitely wasn't thinking about that. You know, at that time in my life, I needed 6 credits to graduate, and I was a biology major, and like many of our own students, you know, exploring what I wanted to do with my life, and I needed 6 credits to graduate, and so I went through a book. Back in the day, people, we used to have this book that had a listing of all of the classes, and so we would start with the A's being anthropology and archaeology. Mm-hmm. And I saw this really cool field school for 6 credit hours in the summer that I could go down there and finish up my degree at that time. So I was just thinking about making sure I could graduate in 4 years because my parents told me that was going to happen and do something fun. And I had the summertime to do it. And our archaeology and anthropology was in the A section. Mm-hmm. So that's what I came up with first. I wasn't thinking about anything along the lines of being a chancellor.
Where did that take you after Iowa? You wound up down at Texas A&M to get your doctorate.
Well, this is another thing. So as I was digging in the hot burning sun, thinking I just wanted to graduate in biology, I found I really loved it. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to be an archaeologist. And I hadn't taken, archaeology courses as an undergraduate. So that last year when I came back before graduation, I kind of switched a lot of classes to make sure I could add in as much archaeology as I could, still graduated with my biology degree. But then I started thinking about, the future. And if you want to be an archaeologist, you're going to graduate school. And so I applied to a lot of different graduate schools, most of whom said a degree in biology, not much archaeology. We don't want this person. But Texas A&M was very interdisciplinary in their thinking, and they thought that was a huge asset to have that biological background, which actually it ended up becoming a great asset for me because I went to graduate school there, and I ended up helping found and develop the field of archaeobiology and paleonutrition, because I had that really strong background in biology and could do that. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer,
Right,
David, for that.
Sure, sure. And then you found yourself in Maine. How did that happen?
How do many of these things happen, David? Yeah, they offered me a job. And again, this particular job was very interdisciplinary. It was a position, a tenure track position in the Department of Anthropology, as well as in the world-renowned Climate Change Institute. So it was a joint position, and they were looking for somebody that had a very diverse background, and so I fit the bill. And so we ended up being in Maine for 20 years, and that's really where I feel the foundation and the growth of my career as a researcher, as a faculty member developed.
Okay. And then what attracted you to the position at UMSL? You started out as provost, correct?
I did. So after Maine, I was at Wright State University as dean of the College of Liberal Arts, and that was fantastic because they were all about the fine and performing arts there. In Maine, I was really enmeshed in large-scale research, and so again, my background, my very diverse background, has really helped in my career development. And so I was really attracted to UMSL for a number of reasons. One, I was continuing to look for a more diverse urban environment where we could, flourish, but also where I could literally, help move things forward. We love moving to different areas of the world, places that we haven't been before. And when you've gone from Iowa to Texas to Maine, we wanted to come back a little bit. And so we thought coming back to St. Louis would be more like the Midwest.
Okay.
It's a little different, though.
It is.
I will say that, David.
It's very different. And now as Chancellor, you're the leader of the University of Missouri St. Louis, and in a lot of ways, very much so in the St. Louis area. What inspires you to lead? What drives you to be a leader?
I think just with anybody, I don't think they necessarily think they're going to be a leader, but they look toward what they want to accomplish in life. So, for example, back when I was at the University of Maine and I was a faculty member, and I was really passionate about each and every student that I had in my classes and in my lab. And just that interaction with the students was really important to me, so I could help raise them up, help develop them as individuals and what they wanted to do in life. But as I moved forward and started developing broader scale programs that I felt really had a huge impact in the world, that's when I got a bigger view of what I could do in life and what life, frankly, actually needed. So in my interdisciplinary area in climate change and archaeology, anthropology, I helped develop the program of human dimensions of climate change at the undergraduate level, and then a PhD program in environmental policy. And I became very passionate that these were the programs that were really going to help train and produce the people that we need to help solve what I consider to be one of the most pernicious problems in the world today. And when you're a part of that, doing something much broader than where you had been, seeing the world and your view from a broader perspective and understanding that you can make an impact, that became crucial to me then. And so moving up into the positions that would allow me to actually influence change and policy into the directions that I think they needed to go, moved me into more of a leadership direction. And that has been true, I would say, with everything. And one of the things that I'm most excited and daunted and passionate about here at the university is I really feel that here in St. Louis, we are in the epicenter of racial disparity. And we are the institution that is impacting that in a positive way and moving St. Louis in a positive direction. And frankly, the way St. Louis goes, I think the rest of the nation goes. So I am excited, passionate, and daunted to be here at the university, working with our broader team and our community to really help change things around and move things in a direction that I think is going to be positive for all of us.
You jumped right into my next question, so that's a perfect segue. That's one of the things that attracted me to UMSL, was that we are not just a university to give out degrees. We're a university that really desires to impact the community in St. Louis and the surrounding communities. What is UMSL doing, maybe more specifically, to make some of those changes, to provide support and to make a difference? What are we doing, and what are we going to continue to do in the future?
Yeah, that is really broad. And so how much time do we have for this, David? But I'll start from the basic foundation all the way up into what I see as our biggest initiatives right now. But the basic foundation is we educate St. Louis. I mean, our student body is the diverse student body that represents the diversity that we see in St. Louis. And because of that diversity, but most importantly, because of our student success parameters, we have the highest retention and graduation rates of our urban metropolitan public peers in the nation. So we're not just talking about providing access and opportunity to a tier one, I might want to say, national research university. We're providing that access and opportunity, but then we deliver on that promise with highest in the nation retention and graduation rates. That means that we are literally producing the most diverse college-educated workforce in the entire state of Missouri. And our students, our alumni, stay here in St. Louis generally. 75% of our alumni live and work in St. Louis. We have the largest alumni base in St. Louis. So we are driving the workforce of St. Louis. And we are absolutely passionate and proud about that, and continuing to increase our student success parameters for each of those individual students. And we're going to see them cross the stage at commencement this weekend. But it also impacts their entire family trajectory and the entire region. So as St. Louis, as UMSL works to change that around, St. Louis changes. That's the foundation. We always, as an institution, need to make sure we keep our eye on our mission, our foundation, which is the success of our students. So that's the baseline. But we also are so profoundly engaged in everything that's going on in the community that it makes me excited when I see everything that we're doing. One of the things, I guess, most recently that we just announced is the St. Louis Anchor Action Network, in which we, as an anchor in our neighborhood, are aligning with other anchors across St. Louis to really make sure that we're focused on hiring and contracting, buying, economics in our own St. Louis region. And not just our region, but also the most underserved zip codes in the region, so that we are helping keep funding, frankly, economics, the future here in St. Louis, and we're helping rise up the most underserved areas. So we have aligned, as an educational institution, an anchor educational institution, we first aligned with some of the other educational institutions like St. Louis University, Washington University, St. Louis Community College, Harris Stowe, and Webster. And then we added the meds that include BJC Healthcare and SSM Health and Mercy. So we had the eds and meds all buying into working together to track our hiring and our contracting collectively. And we have bought into and signed on to increasing the amount that we do business in the underserved zip codes by 10% every year. The sheer millions of dollars of economic impact in those regions and in St. Louis is huge. But now we're working with Edward Jones as our first corporate partner. So they are co-leading with us now as we start adding some of the corporations in the area. So Ameren has also signed on. So we are moving very, we're focused, we're very passionate about it, but we're also very organized. One of the things about the corporations is because we have the largest alumni base in St. Louis, our alumni are leading the corporations in the region. They're the CEOs and the CFOs and the directors and the workers all the way on all areas. And so just capitalizing on that and celebrating that and working collectively on that alumni base is going to be huge for us and our students.
Sure. Keeping with the theme of broad questions, what does the future hold for the University of Missouri St. Louis, and what does the future hold for Dr. Kristin Sobolik?
Oh my gosh! So right now, things, we are coming out of the global pandemic, whatever that is going to be, and I think we have really illustrated that we are exceedingly nimble and adaptable. But it's not that we aren't unchanged either. We're changed just like society has changed. And in fact, I think this time frame is going to be a very pivotal societal change for the entire world that we're always going to point to. And we've illustrated that we can weather that. It's not just about weathering that, it's about leading, again, through that change and even before to be what is the importance of higher education? What is the importance of UMSL? And higher education absolutely needed to change before the pandemic. And I frankly think that the pandemic has, in some ways, helped us accelerate the change that has long been needed in higher ed. So we are a leader. We're taking our place as a leader in higher education in this region, but also nationally as an urban metropolitan university that's dedicated to changing around, helping support and change around their region, be the leader, the change agent in the area. So no longer can higher ed rest on its laurels that here's when we, here's the courses we decided to offer, and here's when we offer it, come or not. We are absolutely focused on making sure that our programs are exactly what the workforce needs, what our students want and need, and what the world needs to really move forward aggressively. So we've added 12 new degree programs over the last 4 years, and all of those are programs that St. Louis and the nation need. People need to be trained in, people need to be educated in, so that we're developing, of course, the workforce, but also the educated citizenry of this region. And we're offering them in ways in which people want to take them. We're very much leaning into the hybrid and the online space in certain areas. And we're also making sure that we are being as proactive in our timing and how we offer certificates and courses and the time frame, because that's when our population, our students want and need to take those courses. So it's all about making sure that we are serving our students and serving this region and not the other way around.
Fantastic. And one day when you're long retired, you see yourself back home in Iowa?
Long retired. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it'll be in Iowa because my parents have moved to Arizona and we love to visit them in Arizona, especially around, this time of year.
Yes.
But we've also grown quite attached to Maine and we love the ocean. So, the desert of Arizona would be nice, where I actually, getting back to where we were at the beginning, digging in the hot burning sun, and the ocean along the coast, in the summers. That would be great. But I see that as a long-term trajectory.
Sure.
I am so excited about what's going on here in St. Louis collectively and our leadership role, that there is plenty for us to do for many, many years to come.
Dr. Sobolik, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the UMSL College of Education podcast.
David, I really appreciate that. And one of the things I heard about you is that your father is a Hawkeye and he loves Hawkeye athletics. And I remember back in the day watching watching wrestling, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Dan Gable was a great wrestling coach back in the day. And I grew up in Charles City, Iowa, and we were, quite good at wrestling as well. Maybe we'll need to get wrestling here at UMSL. And athletic director Lori Flanagan's going, "What?" She's like, there's a change in the force this morning. What's going on?"
Dad has an Iowa Hawkeye blanket in his living room that sits right in front of his TV. He has an Iowa hat. He has everything Iowa, and he is a diehard Hawkeye. So he'll be very excited that I had a chance to meet another Hawkeye. So thank you, Dr. Sobolik.
Absolutely. Thank you, David.
I am honored that you chose to join me today for the University of Missouri St. Louis College of Education podcast. I hope you'll join me next time. Till then, I'm David Stouffer. Thank you for the work you do. Never forget, you are making a difference every day.